It's amazing.
Yeah, and he throws elbows like a fist.
Oh, God.
Jones is a very long-elbowed man.
Yeah.
And he throws them like a punch, and that's to me is harder to deal with than his punches.
Well, because he can't punch. He cannot punch.
Really?
He hit me, and I'm like, wow, this is actually him punching me as hard as he can. He can't punch. So he has to throw elbows and kicks and knees because he can't punch. So, yeah, he doesn't hit very hard. So when he has to do something.
Does he really not punch hard?
He does not punch very hard. I will be honest with you, man. He kicks very hard. He knees very hard, and he elbows hard, but he can't punch.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask you, sticking with that, who punches the hardest, you think?
And Anthony
It is
Johnson.
Rumble Johnson, right?
100%.
I think Jimmy said that, too.
Anthony Johnson hits harder than any person.
No doubt. Most people would say that.
No doubt. Wow. He hit me, and every time he hit me, it made me just kind of like fly all over the place. And I'm like, wow, he's trying to take my head off. Even when he missed, you could hear it. Like even Roy Nelson, Roy Nelson too was swinging for the fences, and Dan Henderson. Dan Henderson, even when you're very close, and he just kind of hits you from like very, very close, you can feel how heavy his hands are. Yeah, those guys are pretty powerful.
Dan Henderson just won. He knocked out Hector Lombard with his elbow. Dan Henderson is 68 years old. And he just knocked out...
How old is he real?
45.
46, yeah.
Madness, man. And this guy may fight for the belt. He may fight for the belt because he looks so good. Dan Henderson.
Good for Dan.
My cousin goes, Dan got Hector Lombard with a strange elbow because nobody's ever seen the elbow in the history of MMA before.
Yeah.
He literally just threw like a side elbow and it knocked Hector out. Look, Hector Lombard's a great guy, but at the end, he got head kicked by Dan Henderson. I don't think Dan's ever thrown a head kick in his entire career.
He wasn't the best head kick I've ever seen, no.
But Dan got him. It just raises the level of legend Dan Henderson is in my mind. And I'm a huge Dan Henderson mark anyway. So
he's just a very tough guy.
Absolutely. Let me go to the phone. A few calls coming in, but this one is pretty good from Irish J in Pennsylvania. We got Cormier in studio, Irish J. What do you got?
Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks for taking my call.
No worries.
DC, it's an honor, man. Hey, I was wondering if you noticed, and I agree with you, that John Jones doesn't hit very hard. Look at his KO record with punches. But there's a disturbing trend in fighting nowadays. Floyd Mayweather does it, and Jones did it in his last fight, where if you don't come to me, it's just going to be a boring fight. How do you plan on making sure that it's not a boring fight with Jones just doing what he did against OSP, which looked like a sparring session? Are you going to bring it to him? What's your game plan going in?
You know, honestly, man, at distance, I can't really beat him because he's so much longer and so much taller than me. And if you watch me fight before, I have to fight with pressure. That's what I like to do. I like to fight, and I like to be in guys' face. So, yeah, I'm gonna be after Jones. You know, I'm always gonna be. I'm not gonna chase him like I did the first time, though. We've worked on some things in training camp that will allow me to close the distance without taking as much damage as I took in the first fight. So, watching the OSP fight was very encouraging for me and my team because everything we thought he was going to do, he did in that fight. So we just went right back to work on the things that we were working on. And I think we've got a good idea of what John's going to bring to the cage on July 9th.
Best of luck to you, brother. Thank you, guys. Love
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Irish J.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, this UFC 200 is a great card, too. My God.
Oh, my goodness. You know, Brock Lesnar got on the card, you know, and Brock's a huge draw. Mark Hunt. Brock's a huge draw.
Sure.
So right as Brock was getting announced, I was at UFC 199 with Luke Rockhold. And I started hearing these rumors, so I start texting Brock. I'm like, hey, Brock, are you fighting? Tell me, please. Didn't respond. So I said, hey, Brock, is it Christmas time in the Cormier household? Because Brock sells pay-per-views. I am obviously one of the guys that gets pay-per-view dollars. And he goes, Merry Christmas. That's all he wrote back was Merry Christmas. I'm like, Brock, you're the fucking man, dude. Congratulations and welcome back, buddy. So my wallet jumped out of my damn pocket. Had to pick it up off the ground.
So your taste goes up a little bit.
Oh, man, let me tell you one thing. Brock Lesnar, welcome back. We love you.
Yeah, everyone's happy when he's on the card.
Oh, my goodness. Especially if you're a guy that actually sees some of that pay-per-view revenue.
Sure.
Is it really, you think, going to be one and done for him?
I think it depends on how he does.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's fighting a tough guy in Mark Hunt. You know, Mark Hunt can punch, and Brock doesn't like to get punched all that much. You know, at least he didn't before. But I think it'll be good to see him fight without his sickness. You know, see if he can go in there and implement a game plan on Mark that he can go and take him down and do what he says he's going to do. It's going to be a fun fight. I'm excited about fighting right after them because that crowd's going to be in a frenzy by the time we actually walk to the octagon.
Are they the co-main event?
They're the co-main event. But not only are they the co-main event, it's the whole week. They have a total of 5 championship fights that week.
Yeah.
Because on Thursday, Rafael dos Anjos fights Eddie Alvarez.
Okay.
Then on Friday, Joanna Jędrzejczyk defends her belt against Claudia Gadelha. Then on Saturday, Miesha Tate defends her title against Amanda Nunes. After her, we have Frankie Edgar fighting Jose Aldo for the interim featherweight title, and then John and I. So, I mean, you got 5 title fights over the course of 3 days in the UFC and 3 fight cards. So by the time we step in the octagon on Saturday night, the culmination of International Fight Week, place is going to be rocking, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I think I'm going out on the Thursday afternoon. And by the way, I'm calling for a Mark Hunt first round knockout.
You think so?
I love Mark Hunt. He's my favorite person. First round knockout.
The craziest thing about Mark Hunt is that if you watch him fight Roy Nelson, if you watch him fight certain guys, when they go to take him down, he has a tricky uppercut that he times on the shot. If he can time that uppercut on Brock's going to go to sleep.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's as good a fighter as he is. Like, he doesn't look as agile as he is.
Right.
He kicks really hard, big meaty kicks.
Right.
Yeah.
Really unpleasant.
And punches so hard. He's 41 years old, but he is the king of the walk-off knockout, dude. He's so sure in his hands that when he lands, he literally just turns away, and the referee's like, okay, it's over. It's over. Mark doesn't, a lot of us, we get excited. You knock a guy down. A guy like me, I don't really knock people out. So if somebody falls, I jump on him. I'm like a Tasmanian devil trying to get a couple,
He's like Steph Curry. He throws those bombs, and before it even hits the rim, he turns around. He knows it's in.
And the bench is clapping.
He's that type of guy.
Everybody's clapping. Mark's corner is like getting up, grabbing the bucket. Fight's over. Mark's done.